say nothing.
They got it, but let's buy some land and build a family. That's a grown-up flex. Let's see a black man winning and get so upset. This is generational, inspirational, integrative though. On the rise vertically, working like I ain't made it though. This is for my people. Locker room speeches. Listen while I'm teaching. Nails trying like a Kias. Stole it like I'm Jesus and brought it back like a re-up. Had to demonstrate the blessing for people who couldn't see it. Now we building assets before we splurge our cash. We was talking about the dream, dog. We heard y'all laugh. Now they talking about the team and I heard y'all last. I could never take the credit. I prefer all cash. Look, laughing at the crib cause I done turned into a bank. Probably turned into a mogul before I turned into a saint. Was just a man on his grind and I turned it into great. Turn my struggle into hustle and you know I'm getting paid. Let's go.
Into a little bit more in-depth conversation, a little bit more versatile conversation of what we have going on, and a whole new format of topics, conversation, so we can not only just scream and holler and scribble on the board, but be able to give people some insight of what's going on in everyday world. So I'm super excited for everybody who's checking in right now to the live stream, whether it's live or recorded. Go ahead and do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, Tayler Jacobs on YouTube. Make sure that you like, share this video, share it with somebody who you feel like needs some insight on today's world, today's market, business in today's world, whether they're just starting a business, looking to grow a business, looking to sell a business, or develop the skill sets they need to help somebody else's business grow. You definitely want to share this with them. Again, this is a live show, so if you're tuning in live, feel free to engage in the comment section below so that we can tap in with you and have some dialogue back and forth. With that being said, I turn it over to you, Mogul. What's going on, brother?
All right. So today we're going to, of course, do what we usually do, which is start with our word of the day. Our word of the day is actually serendipity. Now, again, we are going to make sure that serendipity is used on the show. At least we're going to try. But serendipity is the luck, finding good things without looking for them. So, example is the concert was already sold out, but by serendipity, my friend had already bought me tickets for my birthday. Something of that nature. Now, we're going to go ahead, jump right on in. Hot topics. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys, if you've watched us, you are looking at business things. You've probably seen the Grant Cardone clip that's been going around, probably the shorter clip, but you haven't seen the whole thing. We're going to play the whole thing for you so that you can get a good opportunity to see with context, all right?
What Grant got going on? Let's see it.
Wait. First of all, I want to give a shout out to the team for getting the quality of our live show good.
It look good, don't it?
It looks clear. If y'all are watching live and y'all see the increase of quality in our live stream video, press ones in the chat.
Yeah, give some good ones
in the chat.
We worked hard. Work hard to make sure it's good and clear.
1 second, I'm pulling up that video for you right now.
Awesome. While he's doing that, again, y'all be sure to subscribe, share this video with somebody you love, and let them know that you love them, because it's good stuff we got going on. We got some ones coming in. Okay, they loving the good quality.
Okay, bring it back up. This thing not coming. There we go. Share. Can y'all see it?
Yeah, I don't know what you're looking for. Install later.
There we go. Yeah, you can play that.
You can. I see something already up. I don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah, that's the video the Trump, Laura Trump and Grant Cardone.
I don't know what he's doing. What is Amir doing?
What happened to the video on Twitter?
So 1 second, let me get up the bigger one, the longer version for you.
Just give us the gist. I mean, gee whiz.
So basically, people are upset that he was talking about his audience being black, whereas if we're real, you have to speak to your audience specifically. So if you're going to speak to your audience and they are black, you speak to them in that way. He was saying basically, if his people are looking at him, his audience, they're not older white men. So like a 50-year-old white man wouldn't see him in regular life and know that they're talking to him or that they saw this man. But if you're talking to a 25-year-old black man,
so they can see you talking, Mogul. We can't see you.
They ain't gotta see him talking,
but I don't want them to see that.
But yeah, like I said, they're talking to a 25-year-old black man. A black man would know him, basically. And he's saying, I need to speak in the vernacular in which they're speaking in. If we look at statistics, typically most people don't speak or read over an 8th grade level. So not having a large Brobdingnagian vocabulary would be better for those people. So a lot of people were just going off of the fact that little 18-second clip saying, oh, I speak to black people and I don't speak in large words, basically making it seem like he's saying black people are stupid, but he's not.
Go to 4. Go 4. Let me show my camera, my phone. Let's see if it plays. Yeah. I don't know what's been had there. Here you go. Oh, it showed mine late. It's too late. Go ahead.
But basically, again, like I said, they were talking about him saying that little 18-second clip of him just talking about black people, making it seem as if he was calling black people unintelligent. Whereas if you see the full clip, he's basically saying, I'm speaking to my audience. My audience is said people, said persons. This is how they speak, and I speak to them in that way so that we can connect. How do you guys feel about that? Jake?
Yeah, I'll let you go first, Jake. I know we were kind of conversing about it shortly earlier.
I mean, I look at stuff and I cringe. I'm sitting on a Rolls Royce and I'm literally throwing money, like about half my audience is black under the age of 40. Like if I'm out in public and I see a 55-year-old white man or a 25-year-old black kid, the black kid knows who I am. 10x. Now, the reason is because we go after that audience and we're talking to them in very street terms.
It's Grant Cardone, the coach of us.
Hey, listen, he said it himself. He purposely goes after us, and he speaks to us in street terms. Now, I know Iggy has his stance on it, and I have agreement a little bit with Iggy, so I'll give y'all Iggy's stance because I'm dual-sided. So go ahead. Go.
Man, I think, honestly, bro, I think people are worried about the wrong thing. I think people are trying to, and it may not go over well with people, especially with our culture of people. But I don't think that, I don't know his intentions behind what it is that he's doing, but just looking at the video, because I had a chance to watch the full 28-minute video of the interview. So I didn't just go look at the clip to see, how everybody was put in context. I listened to the whole entire interview to see like the context of what he was talking, how he was talking. And I think people are really focused on the wrong thing. Basically, what he was saying is he understands his target market. And based off what it is he's doing, he knows how to go after that target market based off data and understanding. Because truth be told, he said, okay, this is our target market. This is how to communicate with this specific target market. And so he created content that spoke to them. And we can see based off the growth of his business that it actually worked. So my question is, what's the difference with what it is that he's saying and an individual going into a job interview, putting on their job interview voice, dressing up nice, doing their hair real nice, and going speaking a certain vernacular to get that job because that's their target market. That's the people that it is they're speaking to versus what it is that he's doing. Again, I don't know his intentions, but from a marketing perspective, from a business perspective, all he did was identify his target market and communicate with that. At least and if it was something to say about it, at least he's honest enough to say what it is he's doing. But all he did was identify his target market and communicate with them. If you are somebody who falls inside that target market and you are receptive to the content that he's creating and you disagree with him, then that's something that you kind of need to look at yourself on. But just condemning him based off that particular interview and what it is he's saying, I think that people are focused on the wrong thing, bro.
Yeah, I'm dual-sided on it. One side of it is if he's talking about niche, if that's the case, like I know my niche market. I know my niche market. I know who I'm talking to. I know the communication. So if you're going to explain a niche market, all black people don't talk street.
Right.
So for him to just say like, yeah, my target market is 40 and below black people, and I talk street, like that. You're pretty much trying. You generalized a niche market. You was trying to say that you had a niche market, but then you generalized an entire market that's diverse to a T. So on that realm, I say, okay, boom. So if you're going to say a niche market, then it's like, hey, my market is underprivileged African Americans under 40 that may have had some type of criminal background. So we speak in a language that they can that they can gravitate to. They like money, they like cars, they like the things that rappers. So we appeal to them and show them that we got that too. We can have your ear. That's different from saying, yo, 40 and under, yeah, black people, yeah, we talk street and we talk their language. I think that's the piece that made me feel away. If he was staying in the vein of being niche specific, but didn't explain the specificities of that niche, like exactly who you talking to, because you don't, and I don't walk around wearing a big ass gold chains.
Right.
Like you and I don't walk around. We actually like to be not seen. Like we've all had our little spell where we were stunting, but it was really because of social norms. But then you end up becoming yourself again, and you go back to being whatever modest version of you that you are. So for him to say that just literally lets me know that personally how I took that was he looks at all of us almost the same. The black culture, they all speak and talk like this no matter what. On the other side, when you mention that black folk or whoever brown folk, when they get a job, we talk proper. We try to use vocabulary that is that we believe will be proper in accordance to whatever environment that we're in, and we talk up. The issue that I'm having is for black and white or whatever demographic. My issue is why, as African American or brown people, do we feel like we got to clean up our language and talk up? And they feel like they got to talk down in order for us to communicate. See, for me, based on what I'm standing, my father told me, you don't talk white. You talk proper. You talk with the proper grammar. You talk with the proper vocabulary. Now, what I will say is that even we find ourselves when we communicate, we don't always communicate at the level or vocabulary level that we can. We typically talk in a more layman's term or a term or type of English that is acceptable amongst all types of people. But I'm not specifying saying, yeah, we talk this way because black folk talk this way. I know white people with broken English, black people with broken English, Hispanic with broken English, foreigners with broken English, because that's honestly just what it is. Broken English that doesn't have all the vocabulary inside of it, and it's more of a lazy way of having English communication. So for my side, it was more of a call up and a frustration for me that if people like Grant, who considers himself down to earth, still can out of his mouth say something like that on TV without trying to at that level, to the level that he's playing, that we want to play. There is a responsibility that we have to be careful with how we say specific things, because we know that it could offend people who are of that demographic, but does not resonate with how you're trying to paint everybody to be.
So I got some pushback, brother, because the pushback that I have is in the context of the video.
What about the end card too? Like when he told Patrick Bet-David, I'm really just trying to get my end card so I can walk around and say the N word.
That's the next piece of content, but specifically on the interview.
But you got to tag it.
No, we do. But what I'm saying is specifically on that interview, right? Because we had like a day and a half to digest that before the next piece came out, which was him trying to get his N-word card, right? But in the context of what he was saying, like, yes, he does have a responsibility to understand how to communicate to a specific demographic. But what he said was that the majority of his demographic is 40% black, and that he communicates in a certain way. So yes, we can be offended, but the results of how he communicated has developed him this marketplace of about 40%. So we can feel a certain way about how he's communicating, but the results of him communicating has resulted in that 40%.
I get what you're saying. If you're talking about business-wise, if anybody, I'm somebody that I respect business, numbers and the language of business. What I am stating is that when you get to a certain level, there is a responsibility that you have at ensuring that what you're saying is going to be understood in completeness. So like, for an example, you said that you watched the whole thing, right? To get context.
Right.
In that, giving that context out the whole thing, did he specify and say, well, let me clarify, all black people don't talk street? Did he?
No.
Okay.
But he never said all black people talk street either.
This is going to irritate me.
We're going to have to go through it, though, because this is the conversation that's going in the market.
It's gonna irritate me, dog, because if you think that that's good or that's okay, then I don't know what to say, because that's not, bro. That ain't
What
no. All money, I don't care how much money he made. All money not good money. Like there is a little bit of integrity that should be, and maybe that's why black people always be losing in business, because I believe integral wise, when it comes to black folk that want to actually do business, we typically want to do business in the most upright way. And we put our spirits involved, we put our morals involved. But for somebody just to be like, yeah, I talk this like, bro, you know how crazy it'd sound if we went online, yeah, and we on CNN or whatever platform he was freaking on, saying, yeah, I talk white so I can get the white people's dollars. Bro, I would be the same way.
I wouldn't.
Well, we just gonna have to agree to disagree, bro. Because I'm not.
No. The aspect of from
I already didn't mess with him, nor none of them influencers that use Grant Cardone.
Me either.
As their means of credibility. Y'all are clowns.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's just what it is.
What my thing is not saying that he's right for saying that. What I'm saying is, based on the outrage as far as what it is that I saw in the context of conversation online, people were focused on simply the fact of him saying it and just being outraged. Not nobody that I saw as far as white and black doing reviews on it, trying to put it in context. We're speaking from this context. So jumping into the conversation that's online and what people are saying, people are simply just trying to attack it from a racial standpoint. And when he's speaking, I don't think that he's qualified to have the understanding to be able to stand up to that responsibility as far as knowing how to communicate with us. That's like, I know that, and this is somebody, I'm speaking from the aspect.
It's on the influencers' ass too. All them,
yes,
I'm for black people.
Yes.
Bro, I wouldn't, bro, listen. The reason why we are behind is because just like I believe that Grant Cardone is in my opinion, a terrible person, in my opinion, in regards to his marketing tactics and his banter. And I also think that those who wanted to associate themselves with him as credibility, knowing how he is in character. I don't care how much he cried and how much he says he loves the people because he was in our shoes. If you did, you would understand that type of language is not productive language to move any community. Listen,
I don't see them saying anything yay, nay. They're quiet.
They quiet. And that's my thing. Like, dog, like, you on the internet using this man. They got pictures beside this cat. There's other people that's defending him that had his pictures as part of their credibility. Now they're trying to defend him. It's the most pro-ist black, let's be independent people on earth be the ones that be the first one looking for the type of endorsement from people like Grant Cardone. Like, there are so many other amazing quality people that have done amazing things that probably have the same type of net worth as his embellished billion, because he's not even freaking a billionaire. If you got $1 billion under management in a partnership private equity firm, $1 billion alone or whatever, you're not a billionaire. You just happen to have $1 billion worth of assets that you collectively own with your partners in your private equity firm. So that's cap just to start. So when you talk about somebody who lives in cap, in the extraordinary of cap, that have explicitly and purposely went after a market that's full of cap, to then get more cap out of it. Then you got the cap leaders that talk about black. Now you capped out.
You capped out.
And now the black leaders that was full of cap, they finna be quiet and try to pivot and quietly act like that don't matter. And at the end of the day, all of it does. Because the moment that you have a big following, whether you want to admit it or not that you're not that you're doing things that are like funny. Or you're talking about, I want to uplift the people. You said out your mouth, about, I want to uplift the people. I want to make sure that the people good. I want to make sure that you understand finances, money, and this and that. I want to make sure that you're good financially, but to send somebody to some burning house so that you can get your paper right, because let's be clear, the only reason that these people online are partnering with people of the likes of Grant Cardone is to fatten their pockets, not to help their people out. Period and point blank. It's for marketing, it's for clickbait, and it's for them to have great videos or cameos for them to be able to run their advertisement so they can run it against Grant Cardone's other audience as an endorsement. But to get endorsed by somebody like Grant, bro, that's the worst endorsement to me. That actually will diminish what I believe my father means that our name is, dealing with cats like that. Now, I love all people of all walks of life as long as you solid, good people. But I would never in my life be seen hanging out, kicking it with a guy named Grant, and I will touch $1 billion, and we will be in the same room. And I promise you, I still won't talk to him, because at the end of the day, he cares nothing about the people like he say he do. At the end of the day, he about his own paper, and I just wish that he would just say that. And everybody else online that act like they for the people, I just wish that they would just say, listen, I want to get mine. I'm giving you this game to get mine. That's why I respect people that actually say that, because at least I know you for your paper. At least I know you don't care nothing about no community uplift. I'm delivering you a service, a product, or education curriculum. For me to sell, to make money, I don't give a damn what you do with it. I'd rather them say that than to walk around here parading like they care about people, because it's easier to get people's money, because everybody know black people were emotionally broken. We have been beat up for eons and years. And anytime we feel like anyone connects to us with our same language, with our same pain point, for some reason we always throw logic out the door and we just commit ourselves to them, and then we get mad for fraud because they defrauded us. And I'm talking from personal experiences because I've been in the same situation.
That's my point right there.
But
we got to hold some. That's my point right there. Being able to have ourselves hold some accountability, especially when we're looking at these influencers who just attaching themselves to whatever is flying, whatever is moving. So if we're gonna hold him accountable to what he said, we have to hold ourselves accountable to how we feel about it and how that makes us move, because this is continually happening to us as a people, as a culture, and he's not the only one that's allowing or that's perpetrating or that's moving in the market like this. It's something that's continuous, and people kind of find that niche, they find those pain points, they find the vernacular, and they hit that. That's happening in business, that's happening in music culture, that's happening in fashion, that's happening in beauty. All across the board, it's the exact same thing happens. So at some point, we have to accept accountability for accepting this stuff.
I agree, but I still can be outraged. Like,
I am.
So like, at least we know that. I ain't gonna say like a name, but we know that people that come from like Asian descent, Vietnamese descent, they go create them chicken joints in the hood.
Yes.
They go create the beauty supply in the hood, but they not on the internet trying to act like they want to help us.
Yes. But if I go into them stores, they talking that vernacular though.
Listen.
So they making their money how they gotta make their money. If we tired of responding to the vernacular, we gotta figure out why we responding to it.
My biggest disappointment is not with Grant Cardone, because I can give a shit about him.
Facts.
My biggest disappointment are in these online influencers. They got more influence than they can imagine, and they're not thinking about who they want to actually. Bro, I got people that are my friends that because of our position, until they work out their thing, I cannot afford to have our brand
Correct.
publicly in cahoots with their brand.
Correct.
It has nothing to do with them as people. I believe them. I trust them. I care for them. I would do enough for them as I can.
Right.
But I can't have a public approval of, because once you deal with somebody publicly, that's like you approving them, right?
Yes.
I cannot do that until they go clean their own house.
Now, when it comes to him talking about when that clip that came out with him and PBD, when he asking to get approval to say the N-word, I think that's full of mess.
But here's the deal.
I think that
matter of fact, I'm about to pull it up. We ain't finna. We finna.
That's full of mess. Absolutely. Like speaking context of each clip, and then also speaking to him in a general. I don't mess with him either. I think that over the years he's done certain things and implemented like certain thing. The 10X rule, the book was a great book. Beyond that, I don't really care too much about Grant. So taking the video in context, I didn't want to be somebody that just jumped into it and looked at it. I wanted to take it in full context and breaking down each clip. This is what was said.
And let me just say this:
that's trash.
I don't know what it is, but and let me just say this: the fact
Julian posted on his IG.
The fact that Patrick Bet David didn't check that, I got an issue with that too as well.
Yeah. That Patrick was basically doing exactly what you were describing about these influencers doing because he was next to Grant, because he was getting that exposure from Grant, quote unquote, from his audience. He didn't check him right there.
We were going to pick here or Fort Lauderdale, right? I said, dude, we got to stay down here. You're Miami. There's color down here. There's crayons.
You're Miami.
There's the Rainbow Coalition.
Yeah, I don't know if you're fully white though, man. I think there's something going on there that somebody didn't tell you about, man.
I can use
Patrick gave him the segue right there.
to use the N-word right here.
Patrick not even qualified.
That's all I want. That's one of the streets I want.
You want that?
You
need to go to Chancellor
to tell me that I have permission to use the N-word. I got to carry it like my permit
Have
card.
somebody validate it for you, man. Have somebody validate it.
I'm going to have
Put
an
a shirt.
permit card. I'm going to carry it around with me everywhere I go.
Four collars.
I can use the N-word.
For what? What you want?
Why you want to? What that's gonna help? How that's gonna help you in business? How that's gonna help you in your raises? How that's gonna help you in your real estate deal? Why you want to use the N-word?
See, my deal is here. As you can tell, I am flustered. I am flustered, and it's because when you watch that video, which is a past video, that's not a newer video.
Yeah.
Past the one we talked about,
Right.
him stating like I use street language.
Right.
That lets you know the heart of this wicked man. Right there. I want to use for what? We trying to shed it. We trying to break the habit. You wanna embrace it. Why? Because it's a badge of honor for you to be like, yeah, I can use the N-word when I want to, but I can also go into this other world and be able to raise money and go talk to Goldman Sachs and these companies and get billions of dollars from a bank that we can never. Let's call that. So yes, I do have a problem with Grant, but we ain't finna deal with the Grant issue. I want to deal with the fact that at some point in time there is a responsibility that people have to watch who they interact with that could potentially falsely affect the audience, which goes right back to podcasting.
Yes.
These podcasters that get paid, bro, I can't wait till we start doing interviews because you can't pay to get on our shit. You can't pay. If you got a financial claim, I want to see a financial tax return. Cause you're not coming on this on our podcast talking about $1 million, 100,000. I want to see P&Ls and tax returns before you start making any claims in front of our audience. See, that's the type of journalism that is needed in the marketplace in order for us to filter out this BS. Cause at the end of the day, it's nothing but marketing. And all money ain't good money.
Facts.
And at the end of the day, like the movie, like the show on TV, American Greed gets all men that are greedy. Period and point blank.
We as a people, like, yes, it's okay to be outraged with what he said, but at the end of the day, it's on us. It's to check who it is. Like you said, we engage with who we're listening to. Especially these influencers just want to attach themselves to whatever's hot in the moment, don't have any real ties to the people that they say they want to help. They just speaking it because it's good. It's black unity, black empowerment, black business, black ownership. That's the trend now. So people want to jump on that, and they trying to position themselves as a bridge, but attaching themselves to people who really don't care about us. And so when I say like we focus on the wrong thing, we got to check ourselves before we put it all on Grant. Yeah, Grant said what it is he said, but the people who are listening to him, engaging with him, and moving forward with them, we got to look at them. We got to check ourselves too. So That was good. That was good. Y'all give us some feedback in the chat of what it is you think. What we got next, brother?
Yeah, I'm still hot.
Yeah, I can tell you.
Yeah, that's why I was go ahead and moving on. What you got, bro?
I can tell you still hot, but we're gonna get into something different, which is going to be these tech investors are actually going to jail.
I can't stand them got going influencers, dog.
So I'm about to bring up a. You guys see that?
Y'all better watch out. So what's this? What we got?
Let me see. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
All right. So basically, a bunch of tech investors are going to end up going to prison. Right now, it's allegations, but they're going to end up going to prison because they've gained over $45 million in sales for businesses that were allegedly for basically fake businesses, basically pumping, dumping at a really big level.
Oh, you talking about? I was about to say something.
Watch it. Yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah.
Go ahead, doctor.
So, first of all, let me come out this jacket because y'all got me hot in the mug.
Go back to camera, unshare.
Y'all got me hot in the mug. This pump and dump thing is real.
On so many levels.
Let me explain to you what a pump and dump is. A pump and dump is when a marketer finds a good company. Well, there's two versions. They find a good company. They sell it to the moon. They sell it to the moon. They sell it to the moon in the hopes to get as much commission as they can, not caring if the company can actually fulfill that pump. They extract all their capital or their interest or their investment earnings from it, and then they run, leaving the company with all of the headache of trying to manage it all. That's one version. The second version is when these influencers online, when they tell you about a stock or a crypto that they know is foul, but they know they can get 10 or 20,000 people go purchase it right now, it'll raise up the value just quick enough for them to get an exit of a higher number and then leave everybody else stuck in the coin or in the stock that was a bad coin stock pick. Now, this is what I would say. Market making, the ability to make a market, like do marketing behind it, advertisement, get people excited about something. Ethically, it's when you're disclosing earnings and you're disclosing what's going on. But when people say, yeah, this is just good stock, I believe in it, I've invested into it. Y'all, I can name you 3 people right now. I can tell you exactly what month that they got money from who they got the money from, that they received back end money, and then went publicly that same day on the internet, social media to be exact. They're in the East Coast, and they also are in the West Coast. They live in both Cali and Atlanta. Yeah, bruh. Quit playing with me. Received a specific amount of money, then went live on social media saying that they invested in this coin.
Cap.
Knowing that they received how much was it?
$40K.
It was $40,000 in Ethereum. In Ethereum, they received $40,000 exactly in Ethereum. Not only did they receive $40,000 exactly in Ethereum, they also got free coins from this same place. And then before they did their marketing, they went back to the company. I hope you listening because you know exactly who I'm talking to.
And tried to demand another $40K.
Tried to demand another $40,000. The person said no. They did the marketing to tell everybody they invested all this money into this crypto, never investing their own dime, their own dollar at all. And the beautiful thing about cryptocurrency is that the wallets, whether you believe or not, you can read the transactions. So you cannot delete a transaction report on cryptocurrency
on the
blockchain. So what does that mean? That means
it's there forever.
You know who I'm talking to. And you know I'm talking to you. You got a year to start coming clean on the internet, or I will start blasting every under table wire that you ever received from every cryptocurrency company, because you are not good for the black community like you pretend that you are. That's the problem that I have with people that pump and dump. Now let me go here. We got pumped and dumped.
Ooh.
So this is why I feel away. And
Y'all share.
I'm so glad I'm in a space to just tell my truth.
Talk that talk.
When you have marketers that don't have a merchant account, that don't have a staff, that doesn't have organization, they don't have structure, that want to do business with you because you are actually established. They run up numbers, crazy products on your services, on your system, only to leave you hanging high and dry with products that you have never seen that they vouch for. Took all the money, leaving you hanging with whatever lawsuits that you got to deal with. That's what a pump and dump is. But let me tell y'all the beautiful thing about the law. When people like that pump and dump companies like ours, you got 4 to 7 years, depending on the type of fraud, to go after that person and give them not only civil lawsuits, but criminal lawsuits. And that's exactly what we're dealing with right now when Mogul showed that article. These tech investors invest into this technology. They go to the world, tell them how amazing it is, just so they can raise up the value, extrapolate their money. There you go, Grant Cardone, us with street talk, I guess, right? Extrapolate the money out of, which means to take out Grant Cardone. We extrapolate that money, and then they leave everyone else that owns that stock holding the bag while the market takes a hit after they got everything that they needed out of it. So if you ask me how I feel about that, Mogul, I feel a certain way. The reason that I feel a certain way is because how can you say that you're for the people, wanting to teach them stocks, wanting to teach them crypto, wanting to teach them investments, but you don't let your same audience know when you pumping and dumping them? At least tell them, hey, y'all, I see a market, I see an opening. I don't know how long it's going to be. Those who rock with me, cool. You're going to be a part of us pumping it up. You don't say that, because if you verbally say that, you know it's illegal. Because if it were legal, you would tell everybody. But you're not legally doing it. You're illegally pumping up your own money, leaving everyone else with the bag, only with your own lie that you tell them you should have got out when I told you to. Or you didn't get in time.
Hot topics. Y'all give me some ones in the chat if you're following along and you're getting this good information. These pump and dump people out here, they scamming hard. I know some of them personally. I've witnessed some of them in the act. So that's definitely some conversation that we're going to continue to have.
What do you feel about Patrick not checking a Grant?
Patrick not, when he was talking about, well, I feel like he should have checked Grant, but then at the same time, I'm also like, where does he stand on it? He don't even have, like, I don't consider Patrick as somebody who has like the ability to
But Patrick has really close black friends.
Yeah, he has really close black friends, but me personally, I don't see Patrick as somebody who was able to say it. Like if Patrick was saying it on his podcast, I don't think that would go over well. So he should absolutely
was saying on Patrick's podcast.
If Patrick was saying it on his own podcast, I don't think it would go over well with him saying it.
Yeah, but the fact he was like, oh yeah, the 4 colors, like, no, dog. The
Yeah, he was
I would be
supposed
like,
to check
hey,
it. He was
I would have
supposed
been, or even a soft check, like, hey, Grant,
Yeah,
like,
I think it is.
big
Yeah,
dog.
he going too
Like,
far.
I
Look,
don't
that
know-
ain't.
I don't know about that. I ain't with that. But they forgot that little camera was on. See, that was a phone camera.
He tried to distance himself a little bit, but like, yeah, you should get somebody to qualify, get somebody to verify whatever he said. He tried to distance himself, but again, I think it was like you were saying earlier, him being in attaching himself to an influencer. Grant had his name already out there, and that was years ago when Patrick was really building up. So I think it was one of them things of him attaching himself to it and not having the nuts to really stand on the truth right
Listen, dog, anyone who deliberately and purposely goes out to manipulate any group of people for their own personal gain, I think that you not only should be under the jail, you should be dead somewhere. Period and point blank.
That's just personal opinion. We not inciting violence on nobody.
Now people make mistakes. People get overzealous. I have. You have. But to intentionally hurt somebody, dog, for your own personal gain, Because you and I know the conversations that they be having behind the scene. That's why we don't rock with them. see, there are certain people y'all will never see us on a camera with.
Ever.
You'll never see us on the stage with. Bro, there's so much money I done left on the table just simply because of the people that are involved.
It ain't nothing for me to walk away from some bread, bro, because of I don't feel right about
Bro,
it.
$1 million made with people that I know ain't right with God is $1 million that I'm gonna have in heaven somewhere. Period and point blank.
What we got next, Mogul?
So we are going to go into a little bit more.
And if you think I'm talking about you, if you're watching this video, I absolutely am.
smoke is
Yes,
there.
sir.
The smoke is there, but we're gonna go into a little bit more lighthearted, in a way, not necessarily all the way lighthearted, but
Bro,
Sierra.
y'all was messing with me with the hot topic, bro.
Blame Mogul.
Hey, now. It was not okay. You're right.
And y'all know what my address is because I'm one of the only folk online
Mogul.
of the top
Move
influencers
us forward,
that
Mogul.
actually got a headquarters with staff.
Control the
Not-
show, Mogul.
Not selling from my house.
Cut his mic off, Mogul.
All right. So we are going to go into. Have you guys heard the Sierra little new song she got?
Yeah, it's full of cap. This week is cap
This
century.
cap.
So you guys aren't the only ones that feel that way. There are multiple people all over social media right now. Though
Y'all did this, Iggy. Y'all did this. Y'all did this to me.
Listen, I wanted to have this conversation about Sierra. This was my recommendation.
This is your fault.
Sierra is
How you being taken care of by one of the most gentlemen American people with the prettiest hair? You're a quarterback of the NFL, a head of the Christian Football League, SGA, 4.0. You married to him with children. He adopted your son like it's his. Like you ain't never.
I want to know
how you independent.
Like, I want to know what was his reaction to the song when he heard it. Did she run it by? Was he like, yeah, I think they gonna like that one?
She couldn't have ran it. She was like, baby, I got a song. You can't listen to it right now. I know why.
So this song is
divorce, Russ. Tell her you want to be independent. Here you go. The reason why she claim independent, she got 2 children by Russ now. She independent for real. That's called $25,000 a month for the rest of her life, no matter what.
Listen,
independent.
You know, Future talking about a lot of stuff in his new music as well.
And first of all, let me just say this because the Future already said he didn't hit C
said
again.
But he said he effing her in a new song. He double
that's
back.
Why she talking. That's why she talking.
She independent.
That's why she independent. She getting Future. BP.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Let me just say this real quick. I don't know how this turned into a World Star channel. It's supposed to be about business. I need to talk to who the filtering team is. But let me just say this.
This was you.
I didn't say nothing about no.
This was you.
Yeah, hot topics on business.
The hot topics were there. Where we took them is on us.
So let's talk about independent, right? First and foremost, I despise anyone that says any bit of independent talk. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Here's why. How it's naturally made. Man nor woman are supposed to be independent. When God saw man working, because man did get work before he got a woman. So women, let me tell you something. A man that's on a mission from God is in alignment with God. If a man puts a woman before his work that God gave him, he is out of line with the righteousness and the path of the creation of a man of this ethos of this world.
Watch the women skip that.
A man was given work before he was given a woman. It was after he was working, God said that, there is something about you that is not right. You need a helper. Because he's saying like you ain't finishing what I need you to, but you also need somebody who can actually help cater to that. So that means that both man and woman should be codependent upon each other. Not solely dependent on one another. Codependent as a collective. Now what I'm saying when I say this, listen. It is repulsive for women to walk around wanting to be independent. Just as repulsive as it is for men to think that you can live in this world without a solid woman. Every good man needs a solid woman. We talk about it all the time. We bang our heads every day, talking about the frustrations of this world of a man finding a woman who actually cares about him and the growth of him without him having to feel like he has to perform.
Correct.
And a man, typically, if you're talking about business in particular, a man is more easier to settle with a woman in all of her flaws and baggage that she brings than it is for a woman to settle for a man that has flaws and baggage. So in this case, you got an all-American man that went and got an R&B singer who didn't have that much legs in her. She wasn't Janet Jackson, let's be clear.
And wasn't Beyonce either.
She wasn't Beyonce. She ain't even Kelly Rowland, to be clear.
No Rihanna.
So to spit in that man's face, to even fix your mouth to say, where my independent ladies at? If he didn't check that,
something wrong with him.
Something wrong with him.
If he didn't check that, he every bit of what everybody been saying about him.
But this goes right back, and I'm gonna let you go. This goes right back to me, and let me tell you something. You got it on me? Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something. This is a prime example of you don't marry a woman that you want. You marry a woman that wants you. Now, this is what I mean by that. A lot of men, you sacrifice your entire life to get to a specific level of success, only to go chase a woman that wouldn't have wanted you if you was a regular Joe.
Dang. That's going to hit some of these dudes hard.
As a man, you got to know where you are as a regular Joe is really your true market. Go find you love in your real market and save you all the money, all the headache, all the nights, all the pain, and all the tears of anything else. Here's why. Because if you go marry a woman that's of your real market and you still become who you believe you're going to become, she's going to love and admire you even more than a woman that feels like she can go get you anywhere. Telling you that, fellas.
How she go from Sierra's prayer
to independent?
To independent.
Well, you see how she was holding up. She was
like she went back to old school Sierra before Future.
Girl, you married one of the greatest. You got a baby with one of the greatest rappers of all time, and you got two babies with a Hall of Famer.
A Hall of Famer who adores you.
Independent where?
Adores you. Why would you even bring that into it when there are in your fan base, there are women who love you, who love your relationship, who have relationship goals with you and your husband, and you want to talk about being independent, and them same women fired your ass up in the comments.
Let me show y'all what they said. Hold on.
While he looking for that, let me say this. I'm 100% for my woman becoming everything she's supposed to become as far as like value add to society.
Yeah.
Let me be clear.
Yeah. Because
whatever that value is getting earned, paid, or whatever. But to believe that you don't need a man, and for a man to believe that you don't need a woman,
and you to be spitting this that you don't need a man while you in a whole marriage.
In his house.
Look
at that picture.
House.
Go back to that picture.
Go back.
Share that picture. You in your man
house.
We seen what old R&B artists living in now. They living in houses that I grew up in Cedar Hill, Texas. Regular suburb houses. That's why that's why they only show like a little piece of their house, the kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah, like
they show the kitchen in the car.
They roasted her in the comments, man. And Sierra, don't ever in your life disrespect your husband in this manner again. He love you. He put up with a lot already from society, talking about the ways in which he treats you that's uplifting, and you want to do that, stab in the back, like, nah, I ain't for it. Shame on you and shame on anybody who support that foolishness.
Everything she got on, that man paid for.
Yeah.
Your royalties ain't paying you that damn much. Stop it.
At all.
I
When the
ain't-
last time you heard somebody say, put on this
Hey,
Sierra when you got
listen,
in the
fellas, let me tell you something. Ladies, you got to hear this. Fellas, if you're already successful prior to meeting your woman, prenup.
Or trust, or both.
The reason why I say a prenup first, you can always go back and expunge a prenup. You can change some stuff. But have the conversation of prenup and see her response. You don't have to go all the way through with it, but go as far as you're going to go and see her response. If her response is of a prenup, we don't know each other. You don't know your spouse until you get married to your spouse. You don't know your partner until you have a baby. You got to live with your partner. You got to adapt. So I believe that both man and woman should have whatever I came with, whatever was already established before I came, I'm leaving with. No matter if that what I established grew or not. Whatever was previously established, I'm coming with. Now, based on that, you can have qualifications within that actually write out and work out releasing of certain trust responsibilities or access. And let me tell you why it's important. Janet Jackson married a billionaire. Mm-hmm. She had a baby by him. Mm. He had a 5-year rule. Look it up, Mogul.
Okay.
Janet Jackson's ex-husband had a 5-year rule that said, if we get a divorce before 5 years, you're going to leave with what you came. But if we give a divorce after 5 years, I will give you like spousal support, this, and that. Janet Jackson waited until exactly 5 years. How many years was that?
Okay, so I have it right here.
What is it?
It says, according to the New York Post, Janet Jackson was entitled to $100 million of the couple stayed married for 5 years. Another $100 million if they had a child, which has led people to hypothesize that putting a 5-year rule in a marriage, Janet Jackson sets herself up for life. So basically 5 years.
$200 million.
Yeah, for
5 years and a
staying
baby,
married in
200 million.
years.
So 500, bro, fellas, ladies, I'm not talking to you right now. I don't know ladies, so let me talk to the fellas. Businessman, shut your mouth. Shut up. Stop telling a woman everything you're going through. Stop telling her where you're hurting, where your pain points are. If she cannot naturally fill that gap, she ain't gonna physically do it, dog. She should already have what's in her to fill the gaps that you feel like you're missing. Secondly, if you give a woman a timeline, she gonna stay only to the timeline. Say, yeah, baby, this prenup is just for the first 10 years. I want to see if we're gonna make it. You don't think she gonna stay to the 10th year and get a divorce after 10 years and 1 day?
Ooh, I'm out of here.
I see people do that in business every day, Iggy. You say, okay, hey, listen, I'm going to give you equity with the company, but you got to stay 5 years in order for you this equity to actually be vested and where you actually own the stock. I've seen people stay all the way up to the 5th year. And then after their vesting period ends and they're fully vested, they leave. I've seen employees leave companies. I've seen partners leave businesses. That's why in our place, we got the equity vesting period. Then we have the option period. You ain't finna god daggone stab and bag me. And this is what people got to understand. And this goes right back to my main point. Fellas, whoever you can get without you having to flaunt your job, your career, your jewelry, your swag, but just you. That is who typically will love the black or brown off you. If you got to stunt about your career, your job, your lifestyle, and all those things, please believe they're not infatuated with you. They're infatuated with the life that you bring them or could bring them That's why they dealing with your stuff. That's my hot take.
Iggy?
I'm just gonna second exactly what it is he said, brother.
Okay. So we're going to move into our next portion. I was going to have this in the hot takes, but I think it's going to be better in our next segment, which would be a business that we can analyze. Right now, Facebook is following suit with Twitter. You know how Twitter said they were going to let you basically pay for a blue badge? They're doing that right this second. Only going to be letting it happen in New Zealand and in Australia for the next month. But what do you guys think about that? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think they are cheapening their brand, or should they have chosen another way to make more money? Because it seems like a money grab to me.
We're gonna start with you, Jake, especially since you
Why he put on them damn glasses?
Verified. Explain kind of your take on the updated verification process, and this is kind of.
Yeah, so here's my take on it. I think it's great for business, for Meta. I think it's terrible for me. It's great for business, for Meta, simply because it's another revenue stream. It's another revenue stream that is going to produce them cash flow that people are going to keep paying. You know, if you got 3 million people that want to be verified, that's going to be paying how much a month?
$11.99 to $14.99.
Let's say $12, 12, 24, 36. That's $36 million a month just on the verification badge. It just now goes to verifying who you are, not verifying the value that you bring society. And it waters down that side. So if in this position I'm in now, having the verification means a lot. So I can get into a DM I typically couldn't before. I could talk to somebody that I typically couldn't before. But now if everyone has a verification that's just willing to pay the $12, then that completely changes the game when it comes to now. I don't know, exactly who you are. Like, you could be a paying person, you could not be paying. And then also, if you already are verified, do we got to pay now?
Don't know.
Because that was free for us.
Yeah. Just, have the qualifications there.
I think it'll be good for our business to be verified, like a business to have a verified spot. But at the end of the day, like, I think it's trash.
So
for us, the consumer. But I mean, if they're anything like Grant Cardone, they don't care.
I think it's trash as well, bro. I think it's trash as well. Because like you said, it waters down that verification. And then two, this is me personally, but I think that long term, when it comes to data and tracking and things, that it's playing into the social credit score process, because just with any verification, you have to provide your government ID, versus it being a process that you qualify for by meeting certain standards, certain milestones to be verified. Now, anybody that chooses to pay, now your social media account is going to be connected directly to your ID, which is going to be able to filter in to whatever other data, whatever other plans, whatever other mechanisms they have moving forward, as well as watering down. So I definitely think that it's trash. I don't think that it's beneficial to the consumer. Like you said, I agree with it being a new revenue stream for his business, but I think it being just another way to track us to be able to market, advertise, and maneuver in the future. That's my take.
I personally think it's a terrible idea, mainly because, like you were saying, it does water it down, and it makes it seem a lot. It just cheapens it for me. Everybody needs Facebook or uses Facebook, to stay in contact with your family, all those things, for celebrities and whatnot is used to be what those checks were for. Now, if John from down the street got a check,
bro, what's going on? Bro, I swear you're like adding and taking stuff off every single time. Every 2 seconds, bro.
Like John from down the street had a check, right? You would like why? like now it's not important no more. It's like it's not something that I can look forward to getting. It's like, oh, I can just pay for that. Like so it's I feel like it's a cheapening thing. They could have found other ways in which they could have made money. It is a money grab. They could have found other ways to make money that I feel like would easily keep the integrity of the brand, because we see Twitter did the same thing and people is still roasting people over buying these $8 blue checks. But we're gonna go into our next topic, our next segment.
Well, let me say this real quick.
Yes, sir.
If their defense is that they're trying to combat scammers from scamming brands under the guise,
That's what they say. That's one of the things they say.
if that's their defense, it's an amazing decision because it allows for people to verify themselves. However, I believe that there should be a top tier, maybe a gold star, that then tells people, okay, this person's legit. Like, they different. Verifications, I think, are important. It keeps from people, like, from mimicking the brand.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, it's a 100% amazing move. That's the only way you can differentiate users versus, abusers. But on the other note of that, if people like me, I want to differentiate myself from everybody. I didn't work nearly a decade to create a certain, standard of a differentiation marker or what makes me different in the marketplace. And I want there to be a difference. So they're going to have to kind of combat that. But I do believe verification is a good way to, start ridding of the scammers that I believe that they put on the platform.
Yeah, they say that they're gonna combat some of the false pages and the scammers, but I'm interested to see how they're gonna do that, especially at this point because it's completely out of hand. It's a new page of mine personally every single day, and I don't even have a huge account, so I can just only imagine the people with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers, what they're dealing with. So that's what they're saying, but I'm interested to see how they're actually going to go about combating these scammers and not just utilizing it as a revenue stream.
I actually want to go a little deeper into that. I want to see like what ideas you guys would have in order for them to be able to make, an extra revenue stream without having to do, this as far as the verification for the blue check, just anybody getting a blue check.
I think that it should be a verification process, but it should be something else besides a blue check, like some other symbol to notify the marketplace and the consumers that this is a verified account, that as far as the verification process to upload and make sure they're a real person, but still have that distinction there. So I think that it's a good thing that they're doing for revenue, but I think like Jake's saying, they should be able to differentiate between those who have earned that based off the value they provide to the marketplace. I don't think that people should be able to pay to get that exact same emblem that has signified, the verified and the influence and the value that you provide. I don't think that you should be able to pay to get that. I think it should be something completely different versus that same thing. So I think it's a good direction that they're going as far as the verification for its business, but it just simply something as simple as not being a blue check, maybe being a green check, verified, or some other type of badge that people get to verify that verification versus just a blue check.
Y'all know this is a live show, so I do want to address a comment Tracy made. She just said, just make sure you don't leave her after you get the bag. Now, let me explain this. The only reason that women get left after their husband actually becomes extremely successful is because that woman still treats that husband like the man he was prior to him becoming who he is. See, that man accepted you because you accepted him for who he was when he had nothing. But there is still an admiration, a love, and a respect that he still yearns for after he accomplishes what he said that he's going to accomplish, that should be there, that you would have if y'all had not had that history and you met him at this position of him being successful, people knowing him, having notoriety, whatever that feeling that you would have to getting courted by that person, that's what the man is yearning for. So if that woman is treating him like Jake from when I only had 10,000 to my name to the Jake that's running multi-million-dollar companies, if you treated me like $10,000 Jake, clearly you have not evolved to see me where I am and where I'm evolving to be, because you rather keep me in a position of where I was before I became who I am, which means you never grew yourself. So if you're dating somebody, man or female, that is on that growth trajectory, let me tell y'all something. I read 3 books every 2 days. 3 books cover to cover every 2 days. So if I'm dating anyone or married to my wife, as I am, but if I was dating someone that only read 1 or 2 books a year, how could you keep up with my development if I'm reading 3 books every 2 days? You're reading 1 book every year, and you're not in the trenches with me every day dealing with new problems, and I got to come up with new solutions regularly. That you're not going to be able to understand or even communicate. This is why extremely successful men end up leaving their wife and dating their secretary. And it's not because they think that the secretary is better than the wife. It's because the secretary understands and they value who they are. And usually the secretary, if they've been with the executive, they probably been with the executive either as long as the wife or as halftime as the wife has been around, because that's the only reason or way that most executives have been with their secretaries. Executive admin have been with their executive person's profile for decades, because executives don't want to continue to move administration around, their admin around. You want to keep the same person around. So if that person, the secretary, is adapting and they're growing and they're moving and they're reading the new version of you, they're learning how to adapt to you, but your wife is at home still treating you like you the dude that she met on the corner of the block 20 years ago, that's why women be getting left. Not because they don't love you, not because they don't love your children, not because they don't want to take care of you. It's that you stop doing the work to get to understand your man as he continues to grow. And the same thing, vice versa, can be explained to men deciding not to grow. And your woman is in her profession. She's developing her skill sets. She's growing as a woman. She's adapting, having children. And you still the same guy that keep getting on the couch playing the game, not doing nothing or growing yourself. And you wondering why she want to go have sex with the man that clean y'all pool. What do you agree with? Are you in agreement or are you denying?
I'm in agreement. 1,000%. 1,000%. Tracy also said that the men start feeling themselves and there are women who help the men get there. Then she wants the other side of that too.
I got the other side, but it's still the same.
It's still the same.
Because entitlement comes there.
Yes.
All right, so for an example, best example I can give, Iggy, perfect example, right? It's like who's my first person? The mentor who can take the most credit for my development out of all the mentors I ever had. His name was Tony Stevens. Tony Stevens Sr. Hands down, the number one mentor I've ever had in my entire life. He taught me more about business, life, finance, and family than any other person combined in one being, right? Tony helped me become who I need to be able to build this. He didn't help me build nothing over here. When I left his company to build my own thing, he didn't give me more insight. Whatever I had that he gave me was a part of that. Now, do I give him credit? Yes. Is he a part of my growth? Yes. Could he say that he helped me become the man that I am today, to be able to build that? Absolutely. Can he say that he found me in a broken place, helped mend me to become the best version of myself so I can be prepared and healthy enough to go and take over the world? Yes. That's what women typically like to say too, right? But Tony in business, Tony don't have equity in everything I built. Tony got the memory, not the equity. And the problem with that I see that a lot of women that get upset that their man became something after they helped them, quote unquote, Tracy, I'm just saying, quote unquote, allegedly, is this. You think because you helped them get started or you cleaned them up that you're entitled to the equity of everything they built. You're not.
Whew.
You're not.
That ain't gonna sit well with some people.
Because if this was business, you will be mad that after 20 years of business, a person who helped you your first 3 years, although critical, got 50% of your company, and they never did anything after really a year and a half.
This is what we're talking about with a lot of these music deals. People getting lifetime equity in everything they do just by giving them a little start. And when it comes to relationships, like, yes, there is a codependency, like Dr. Jake was talking about earlier, that is there. But a lot of times people take that codependency and want credit for everything versus just understanding they had a role in helping grow and helping move forward. Yes, there are men, because I don't want to negate what Trey's saying. There is a small percentage of men who do start smelling themselves and feel like that they didn't did it all on their own. They get the ego and they want to go off and get with the lady they met at the club in London versus the woman who at home, the solid woman they talk about. Yes, there are men like that, but that is not most situations. Most situations there is
that we've seen.
There is an outpace in growth that happens, and that one person hasn't grown to the pace of the other or isn't compatible as far as growth as the other person, and then we see the separation start from there.
All right, let me say this. Cooper, y'all know Cooper and Tracy. They my cousin. Like those my girls, right? And so Cooper said, what I've seen is the man who leaves the woman after she has put him through school and raised the children, and then she goes, that sounds like you had a child. That was your son. That wasn't your man.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know no man that I know that a woman put him through school. Now let's be clear. I know y'all have heard me say, my wife took care of all of the bills while I built the company, and I used 100% of the profits of the company to rebuild it. That was a decision that we made as a collective. But I could have lived on the company money as well as had profits to still do the same exact thing. It was the option that I had because she didn't want to leave her job at the time. So that was the agreement that we came to. Well, it'll help us kind of supercharge the company. But I let my wife know this, and I'm sure men feel the same way. I would have become who I am, whether it was with my wife or with a dog. I would have become Dr. Tayler Jacobs with my wife or without my wife. Now, it's easier for me to say, it happened with her. But if you were to go and you were to literally pull back the timeless nights, the nights where it was just me, the times when she even doubted me, told me to get a job. If you were to go back and really look at all those times, I was by myself. And most men feel the same exact way. And I can attest to say, men that take credit for their wives' careers, the wives can feel the same way too as well.
Absolutely. So valid questions, valid points that you guys are making, Cooper and Adrian. We're just speaking from our experiences and the people that we know and the men that we rock with. So definitely there are a small group of men out there.
And I probably would have built at home.
Yeah.
I would have lived at home.
Yes, but yeah. Trey said, but quicker with your wife.
Yeah. Or with my mama.
Yeah.
I just would have went and lived with my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just keeping or with my best friends. Like truly successful people that reach what I've learned, Tracy, Adrian, everyone else, the ladies that's watching, truly successful people, when we're building our companies, we actually are the most frugal ever. So you will find us sleeping on a couch in a studio where there's 3 couches or futons.
Yeah.
Where all of us were to stay if we were that committed to our goals and our dreams. So
been there, done it.
Yes, me too.
Yeah. So Before y'all get too worked up, we're gonna go on to the next topic because Adrian and Cooper, they sitting over there. I can tell they over there patting their foot hard, looking.
I'm gonna get an email. I'm gonna get an email from Tracy and Cooper.
We're gonna move on for Tracy and Cooper. They get on us. What we got next, Mogul?
All right, so we're gonna go into one of our favorite segments, which is Smash or Pass. The entrepreneur, we're talking about entrepreneurship.
Smash
skill sets
or pass.
So just so we can clear it up, Smash Pass is basically, do we agree with the subject, or do we think it should be, we don't agree with it. So it's not like, for all the ladies watching, we don't want to have no cancellations. But our first one is going to be sales.
We ain't doing what Shan talking about, Mary pass. It's smash or pass.
Smash or pass, right? Are we smashing or pass on the skill set of sales?
Smash.
Okay. Are we going to smash or pass on the skill set of AI management?
Smash. Schmiggity smash.
Okay. Smash or pass on the skill set of email marketing?
Smash.
Okay. Smash or pass on the skill set of drop shipping?
Smash.
Okay. Smash or pass on the skill set of course hustling?
Tom Brady.
Drew Brees. Pass.
Let me before we just move on, I just got something to say about this course hustling thing. It's going on far too long. Far too long. The first course that I sold, and courses were already being sold online. The first course that I sold online was back in 2014. Made $300 my first week selling it for $17. So for somebody to be focused on creating a business, a full business, simply just around just hustling courses, I think that you kind of missed that wave. I think that we're in the information age. Information is accessible to everybody. So for you be trying to build a business off information that is out there for everybody, and that being your main business, I think that you setting yourself up for failure. I think that you should be focused on how to help people implement the education they have, whether you're developing tools, acquiring technology, developing partnerships to help people actually implement that education, because you're going to phase yourself out. You're going to see yourself, as you probably already have seen, a drastic decrease in course sales. You'll see a lot of these online gurus who have been slinging these courses that have made the majority of their money from the course and not actually practicing what it is they're teaching. You see them scrambling around now trying to figure out something new to sell, changing their offer every other day. A new ad over here, a new product over here.
Passionate.
Listen, this is what's going on. People have to understand that just because you hear people marketing to you the data of the e-learning space growing into the multi-billion-dollar space, you got to understand that there's a lot of people who have already created a dominancy in this space and in multiple different niches. Am I saying that you can't create a course and get in here in the space and make money? No, I'm not saying that's not possible. What I am saying is you be focused on building a business and aligning your entire business model with e-learning and course hustling. You're setting yourself up for failure. You've already phased yourself out. AI is here, so the implementation of this stuff is what's here, not just learning how to do it. That's going and played out. So if you course hustling, that's a pass.
Yeah, the only reason, here's a small little secret. The only reason we actually created a course was to filter out all the clients that we were getting that wanted to get a policy to practice banking that weren't educated enough. And so we used to charge $50 to $125 per consultation per hour. So let's just say our lowest level, $50. If it takes on average 10 hours to actually teach somebody the concept of private banking legitimately, that's $500 that somebody would spend.
Mm-hmm.
Was that 10 separate times versus just putting it in one program to filter them out. to actually be qualified to get the program or the course. So we got paid for people wasting our time or that we're not ready. But when I see people creating courses as their means to like come up, you know, that's crazy to me. And then the second reason why we created a program or courses was, one was filtering. But after our client put the money into the policy, what we learned was they wanted to learn more about business, lending, finance. Well, I couldn't keep expending time, $50 to $125 an hour to teach business, finance, and lending. So we created a program that helped them learn how to make more money or to become more successful at what they do, so they can be able to make more money to put more money into their policy or their insurance reserves. That was a cycle. But what I began to realize was I'm looking on the internet and I'm having conversations with people who I would never in a million years even give an associate's degree to, let alone if people were to get degrees based on what they've actually done in the field that they actually have a course in, everybody would be failures. Like, we would have a gang of people who failed real life business that claim that, you know, I dropped out of college to become a business person. It's easy to sell a course. All you got to do is literally create a course or steal a course like most people do. Change it up to where it fits your vocabulary or whatever. Find people who have no idea on earth about social media at all. Teach them something. They get 100 views online. Now all of a sudden they're like, man, my views grew 1,000%, because you don't know that they didn't have any views. And these people, you probably shared them to your page or gave them a shout out, all those things. And now that happens. And now you got these people that got these short-term results that they were already probably going to get. They either already had the audience or already had the clients. And then from there, that's when you're able to kind of like get the results. Then you use those testimonials for your ads. And from the ads, you drive traffic to those ads, people expecting to get that same result, not getting those results, only for you to say, hey, results may vary. This goes right back to what I'm saying. I don't have a problem with people charging for courses or programming or curriculum. I have a problem with there not being a vetting system for them to be able to determine, based on personality, based on how the course is being taught from the person teaching the course, there is a specific type of person that typically will win with the program. Vet them out. That's fine. If that means that you got to raise your prices to be able to add a testing process to weed people out, I'm even okay with that too. My problem is selling anything to anyone program and telling anyone and everyone that they can do it, and that's not necessarily true. That's why we dropped all of our programs down to $1 a month for the Dollar Club. They can get a collection of 230 plus hours of education, and it's because I don't want to go through the work of doing the vetting out to determine where you are in your life. But we do have a personality test inside of our program where they can take to learn their learning the way that they learn, so they can be able to process that. But most people don't even know how they learn, Iggy. So if I don't know how I learn and I'm bragging that I dropped out of college, that means, like, first of all, people got to understand, when you graduate grade school, like high school, that's to show you the basics of learning, just the basics of learning. When you graduate undergrad, it's to show you how to learn. When you graduate grad school, that's to show you your specialty of learning. When you graduate your doctorate program, that's the application of learning. So you got the basics of learning, you got the specialty of you got the base of learning, then you got the how to learn, you got the specialty of learning, then you have the application of learning. That's typically in your grad to your doctorate program, right? So with that being stated, when people say I graduated my grad school and I didn't make no money from the graduation, well, 9 times out of 10, it was pretty much a general degree. Most people graduate with a generalist degree, or if they graduated after a program, they were lackluster students. They barely paid attention. They was half drunk every class. Me, on the other hand, I took school serious. I made a 3.9, and I'm still implementing everything I learned in school in everything that we do today to run our business. So that goes right back to, I understood the differences of learning. So if I'm going online and I'm selling a program and I don't understand the levels of learning nor the cognitive nature of your own mind, how can I sit here flat-footed and tell you that if you go through my program, you're going to win?
You can't. You can't. With that being said, Mogul, for those of you who are looking for a place to learn skill sets that you can actually implement online and you're not having to come out an arm and a leg, literally just $1 a month. You can go to pbsdollarclub.com right now. Go ahead and join, get access to over 230 plus hours. Mo, go to 230 plus hours of training. Here you can see it inside of our community. We have a live and thriving community, over 1,700 members who are inside of our community and constantly growing. With this, literally just $1 a month, be able to access our community, be able to access our live trainings that we have specifically for our community outside of our podcast. These podcasts are good. They're fun. They're great. We have great conversation. But inside of our Dollar Club, we teach more in-depth training. Literally, again, 230 plus hours of e-learning training on demand that you can learn at your own pace. It's self-paced. So if you're somebody that takes a little bit longer to learn, this is something that you can get in, literally just $1 a month. So you're not having to decide which bill that you're going to pay or not going to pay in order to access the curriculum that you absolutely need in order to win in this space. Everything from, we talked about email marketing, sales, Facebook advertising, social media advertising, how to start a consulting company, how to start an insurance agency, the private banking, everything we have done, not hypothetical stuff, because the truth be told, like even when we're talking, I was talking about, the first course that I created. It wasn't because I wanted to create a course. It's because I was creating funnels and they were working in the marketplace and people wanted to know exactly how it is that I was doing. And so versus me getting one person and going through all that time and teaching them, I created a course, $17, and sold it to people for them to be able to implement it. So it wasn't like I'm going to create a course to make money. No, people were looking for more information. And it was the most efficient way for me to get them the information based on what they had already seen working, what I was doing. Not me going and try to learn something just so I can create a course or an ebook or a PDF or a free training and run it to it so that I can build me a landing page, build me a webinar, and run a bunch of traffic and try to close on the back end with no system, no understanding of business, no understanding of pricing, no understanding of marketing, no understanding of messaging, no understanding of branding, no understanding of follow-up, no understanding of conversions, no understanding of sales, no understanding of storytelling. Literally everything you need based off things that we have done, results that we have created in the marketplace. pbsdollarclub.com. Go ahead and access right now.
So basically you're saying that people are going to be able to see in the PBS Dollar Club actual things, not just serendipity.
I see what you did there. Little serendipitous. You see how I switched it up a little bit, added to it. Yeah, so what else we got, Mogul?
So we have actually two more skill sets, which is affiliate marketing.
Smash. What you got, Jake? Affiliate marketing.
Yeah, affiliate marketing ain't nothing but a glorified word for selling somebody else's product.
Glorified middleman.
Yeah, so
and listen, I'm with all the middlemen. I'm with the middleman.
Listen, this is what I would tell people. This is why I'd be so confused when people say they need financing or they need funding to run a business. If you don't have the money to do it or the financing to do it, then come fix this camera, Amir. Turn it right here. Yeah, turn it. Yeah, turn it. Should be we should be good there. So and then raise it up a little bit, my head. Yep. If you don't have the money to run a business, sell somebody else's product. Like,
you don't need no money to start that. None.
It's almost crazy to me, like, and this lets me know how many people aren't really as business savvy as they want to be. Because if I don't have money, I'm going to go sell someone else's product.
Off top.
And I'm going to sell it so well that they're going to want to bring me in to sell some more or give me a marketing budget.
That's what I did. Network marketing, started off
Bro,
selling somebody else stuff.
Everything that we own today, all the companies came from the insurance industry, where I sold someone else's product for nearly a decade. That was a cash cow to invest in any other product that I ever wanted. And this is the thing, I can do a whole class on this, man. And it frustrates me. Man.
That's a smash. Just leave it there.
Y'all, if I had a Jake, if I had a Jake that I could lean on, there are two things I would do. If I had the capital, I would invest every dollar I could into that Jake, because I know he a winner. Or two, if I didn't have the capital but I had the skill sets of communication and sales, I would sell any product that Jake had, because I know it's gonna pay. Well, there's not too many winners in life. When you find a winner,
you stick with them.
God daggone it.
You dig. What we got, Mogul?
Our last one is going to be social media presence.
They said, what's the name of the site again?
Super Smash.
Name PBS Dollar Club.
PBSDollarClub.com.
That was nice.
PBSDollarClub.com.
All right, so both of you guys basically said course hustling is the thing that you guys think would be a pass. What would you guys implement or substitute basically in order to have somebody make a business out of that? So instead of, I guess, course hustling, course implementation or skill set implementation, how would you make a business out of that?
Of which course?
Course is just a course in general versus creating a course and hustling the courses. What would you recommend versus?
First and foremost, especially for all these content creators, teaching people how to be content creators. Bro, if you're so good at what you do, why not build a multimedia company where companies are paying you $500 to $5,000 a month? We've had companies pay us $20,000 to $40,000 a month to run their back end. And guess what, Iggy?
What's that?
You ain't got to keep reselling the course every day. If you're good at what you do, owners of companies become hooked on what you do, dependent on what you do, and they pay you for what you do.
Basically, what we're saying is find a skill set, get good at it, and sell it to somebody as a service.
It's crazy to me.
Find something that you're good at: email marketing, Facebook ads, blogging, content curating, video editing. Find something that you're good at and get clients that you can sell that service to. That's what I would recommend. Versus course hustling, I would be implementing that service for somebody and winning with them, helping them get results, getting referrals from them to people, to other business owners. And then after I got results and like consistent results, helping multiple businesses, if I was marketing those results and people were wanting to know how they can then go out and do the same thing to get businesses, then I would bring people close to me and teach them, charge them, mentorship price or something that they can learn from me if they want to. But just hustling courses, nah, that's not the game. You need to, if you're going to sell a course, you need to have a service that you've been providing and getting results from first before you go in to start creating a course to teach somebody how to do.
I'm at a stage to where if you are as good or your program is as good as you say that it is, right? Why not license and trademark your system and people pay for the licensing rights of using your system, where you have a little bit more regulation on having to come through for them? Or you have the business that you franchise it or license it and you grow it like that. So like for an example, right? Y'all, we have a unique way of finding undervalued opportunities, building a system inside of that opportunity, making them more efficient and making a lot of money by doing less, right, Ignacio?
Correct.
We've turned a company, and one of them can vouch, Baked OKC, Baked OKC is a dispensary in OKC. One of our beloved clients who became a friend, Marlon King and his staff. They grew $295,000 of net profit by seeing 15% less people, but making 26% more in profitability.
So they saw
How do
less
you
people
see less and make more? Because there is something about our system that we have that's transferable no matter the industry.
It works.
In the market. So what am I saying? If I sold that to everybody, exactly how we implement businesses, if I sold that for $5,000, I will be cheapening me and they will be stealing from me. If I sold that for $500 in a book, it'll be cheapening my brand. Or I can do like what we're doing. We create a private equity fund firm. We get registered and regulated with the SEC so that we can be regulated based on what we do. We raise money like an investment company. We go buy undervalued companies, and those people who have invested money with us, they can grow with us versus just paying for a course or a program they know they're not going to do themselves. So if you as good as what you say that you are, why not? And you know you get numbers or results that you know that the average person can't get. Why not tell people they can invest with you and everyone can participate in that if you are who you say that you are?
If you are who you say.
So for me, I just got to the point to where I said, you know what? I know we are who we say that we are. And it's easier for somebody to say, hey, listen, Jake, I got $250,000. I got $500,000. I got 500,000. I got 100,000. I got $1 million. I want to invest in the next deal that you get into. And I want to participate in profits with you in that exit. That person will make more money investing with us on a deal versus taking the time it takes to actually master every piece of our system. They will learn more about our system and make more money along the way of learning it along the way versus paying for it and then waiting for the program to do something magical. So that's my biggest thing. If you are who you say you are and you really that dope, why not raise the money and do that? But people don't want to do that because they don't want to be held liable for other people's money outside of saying when you pay for this course, there's no refund.
No refunds. It's digital.
It's digital and the risk is yours. Versus saying the risk is on me. What do we do with our investors? We say, hey, listen.
It's on me, baby.
We say every dime is protected. Is that what we do with our investors?
Every dime.
Every dime is protected. It's secured like a loan. But when we exit, you can participate like a partner.
Wow.
So that says, listen, we put in our mouth and our heart with everything we wrote online and everything that we've done and say, listen, we so good at what we do. Your principal will always be protected. If it's the last thing we do, you're going to get your principal back and it's contractually obligated. So if you are who you say you are, put it in paper.
And in the meantime, when they do that, they can still be in a dollar club learning the skill sets so that they can implement on their own accord while they in the process of being a partner with us, learning and growing and earning along the way. So, yeah, no course hustling. Stop trying to monetize education and start implementing and show people how to implement.
Bro, you can actually build a multi-million-dollar company faster and more consistent than selling courses. Because once you get that client and you're good at it, dog, they'll pay you.
They will. People spend money to make their lives easier.
That's
As a
right.
business owner, if my problem is getting customers, but I'm not a marketer, my thing is doing massages. I'm not good at marketing. I mean, you can help me get more customers. I don't want to learn how to do marketing. I want to be the best masseuse that I can. So if you can help me get more clients to be a masseuse, then I'm going to love you forever. I'm going to continue paying you because you're doing something that's helping me put more money in my pocket that I don't have to do, which I can focus on doing what I'm great at, what I'm supposed to do, what my purpose aligns me with, and you can do what it is you do, what your purpose align you with, and we can grow together versus just trying to sling courses out here and say that, I made 7 figures selling a course and ain't nobody made no money doing what you're talking about they're supposed to be doing.
Like, we made millions selling courses and programs, right? I probably never felt more fraudulent in my entire life. than we were when we were selling courses. Not that we weren't who we said that we were. It was because the point of us creating the courses was to filter people out. And I'm like, dang, I found even myself getting lazy, not wanting to run our businesses, not running to, push our tech companies. Like, we getting course sales. Like, it's a never ending thing. And I found myself being like, dang, I'm no better than the institutions that we talk about.
That was my thing too, bro.
And so, like, I like doing real business. I don't like talking. I mean, y'all know I like teaching. I like teaching, but I don't like talking that much. So, it's just easier for me to be like, listen, if you want to learn what we do, you're going to have to read our quarter and annual reports. You're going to have to invest in the deals that we're in if you want to get a synopsis of what we do. But I'm not selling our trade secrets and what make us different in the market for a $300 course that's going to end up getting played out after a year or two if you blow it up. And then there's no more upside versus me taking that same information, being quiet about it, putting it inside of a company we buy, and then riding tens of millions of dollars every year for the rest of our life versus having to resell that same course. And y'all all know, some of y'all tired of the Private Banking Society program courses right now. You ain't been back in there since you got in the first time. Why? Because courses typically wear people out because people are not as disciplined as they think that they are. But if I were to implement our system inside of a business, it doesn't matter how sick or how tired or how whatever you get, because at the end of the day, guess what, y'all? You're going to keep using our system, which means we're going to get paid in perpetuity for the rest of our life. Period and point blank. So when we take care of businesses, there are two ways that they can pay us. They can pay us a hefty fee up front, which is literally hundreds and thousands of dollars for us to go and change their business around, which most can't afford, or that money that we would have that they would have paid us for consulting, that gets invested almost like equity, and we take a piece of that business. Now we own a piece of that business. We re-implement our system into it, and we get to ride in the sunset as true partners. But at the end of the day, guess what, y'all? I'm not selling our trade secrets for no $300 course, because I'm not finna pretend like I love the community and the people that much where I'm willing to give things that separate us, that make us great. You got to do your work. I will teach you the skill sets. I'll teach you the understanding. But my strategy that separates me, I'm not selling that in no course. And if I ever feel us that we separating that course, selling in the course, you know that we'll be frauds, but you know that we'll never do that, because that's not what business is. Business is about having something about you that makes you different.
Facts.
And because you're so different and people cannot compete with you, they're going to invest in you. And what I will tell you, over the last 5 years of running this company, we've been at a 30% net profit margin, not gross net profit margin for the last 4.5 years, not 5, 4.5 years. What does that mean? We've been outpacing the stock market by double for 4.5 years. Back to back. Most people's businesses' net profit is not even 5 to 8%. So if somebody would have invested money into our business 4.5, 5 years ago, if we would have been allowing it, they would have been receiving over 30% net growth on their money every year. That is a skill set people can't teach.
Right.
And that is something I ain't putting in no book.
Get your 2 shovels to dig that. What else we got, Mogul?
So,
I get some water too.
2 shovels and dig that.
do you have the water over there?
Please.
Another one?
Yes, please.
All right, 1 second. I'll get Chad to send that to us.
Gotcha.
But while we're doing that, we're going to go into our next segment, which is back end fails. At first, we were going to talk about the verification in Facebook, but something that's really going up right now is Whole Foods. Whole Foods has been seen giving, not seen, but their packaging shows that they're not necessarily the most organic, and they're not local. They're sourcing a lot of their food from China, which we all know doesn't really check their food like that.
Yeah. It's
So-
like this.
Well,
this
did
the
they
cap
ever
show.
say that they were organic, or did they give implication?
They said
they
that
say
they
organic
they-
and local.
Organic and local.
That was before or after Amazon?
That's consistently even current.
That's current, and as I started doing research on it. They this isn't new. This has been going on since like 2010. So people have been knowing about this for a minute, but I think it died down. They did a little bit of PRing. But somebody, I guess, went back, looked at the packaging because everybody's looking at calories and whatnot. They saw made in China or sourced from China, and it's like, okay, you're supposed to be local. What's going on? So that's the back and feel that we have today. What do you guys feel about that? Are they misleading?
I definitely think that they're misleading. From the aspect of their branding, of it, and talking about that their goal and their mission is to work with local grown produce and source locally grown produce, depending on what market they're in, and then also the aspect of it coming from China. So it's not even coming from a state over, 2 states over, or even anywhere in the U.S. We're talking about shipping it across from China. And the biggest thing with that is not just because it's coming from China, is because we're supposed to have some type of regulatory process in place for our food, which is going to be the FDA. And the FDA does not regulate produce or that is sourced in from China. They do very little regulatory.
They barely do,
if anything. So with it coming from China, we don't know what's in it. I saw actually I posted a video on my Instagram page talking about this, and it's like they stopped several packages coming through that had poisonous pesticides, filth, feces on it that wasn't clean, that didn't meet our standard, not even on the bottom. So the fact that if they did regulate this food coming in from China, that is going to Whole Foods, and I'm sure Whole Foods is not the only place that's sourcing from China. I just want to put that, I'm sure that they're not the only place, but the fact that their marketing and branding is there, I think that they're manipulating the marketplace and the public and charging higher for the foods. Is pretty much almost the same as you can get from Walmart or Kroger, essentially. It's the cap show.
Yeah. I don't have nothing to say.
I feel like that whole little section that what you just did is going to end up being a meme somewhere. So we're going to go into our last segment. What would Jake and Iggy do? Jake, your first question or your only question is, I'm looking to get into investing in businesses and potential acquisitions. What would you say I would need to do first when it comes to looking for a business to invest in and or acquire? What are the red flags or green flags I should look for?
If you're talking about acquisitions of companies, for somebody to be great at acquiring companies, one must be good at business management. You don't have to be good at the specialty of the business, but a great business manager. So if you don't have the basic skill sets to run a business, to lead a team, to understand business formalities, to understand trends, you need to spend a large majority of your time actually studying those things and then getting into acquisitions. I truly believe that the greatest wealth transfer is not in starting a company from scratch today. The greatest wealth transfer is not in, quote unquote, the stock market. The greatest wealth transfer are in the small businesses that run 90% of America, where the owners are older. They don't want to, the owners are older. Their children don't want their company. They don't want to pass it to a dud. They spent their entire life running their business, and they would much rather prefer to sell it to someone who knows what they're doing, or at least that wants to keep the company, to keep it alive and growing. So buying a company that already exists is a lot easier than starting a company from scratch. And if you have good business management skills, but you're not a good entrepreneur, that's the best, where most people are. That's the best environment for you. So learning the skill sets that are needed to run and manage a business, which are all of the 12 skill sets that we teach in the Private
PBS Dollar Club
at the pbsdollarclub.com for $1 a month.
$1.
Now, this is what I would tell you. Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, but don't have the skill sets to be. An entrepreneur has the ability. An entrepreneur is like an architect. An architect takes an idea that does not exist and makes it a building that people can trust. An entrepreneur takes an idea that doesn't exist and creates a business that people depend on. Most people do not have the ability to take things from that to which it does not exist to create something that does exist, that now people cannot see life without it existing. Most people don't have that type of ingenuity. So the next best thing is a business manager. Somebody who can run a business that already exists or an idea that already exists to be able to catapult to make it better, which means you got to understand business development, sales, communication, understand marketing, understand technology enough to integrate it or find the good quality of people, understand scouting markets, understand distribution, understand vending, how to deal with vendors, understand inventory, how to source inventory. These are just basic things that you got to understand in order to properly run a business. Let me tell you something. The greatest business managers of all time, i.e. CEOs, are nothing but highly glorified names for business managers. The greatest business managers of all time are the most well-rounded entrepreneurs that you will ever meet. It's only investors and entrepreneurs that entrepreneurs can get away with. Investors can get away with not being well-rounded at anything. They can be good at like maybe finance or one thing. But business managers have to be well-rounded at majority of things, and entrepreneurs have to be well-rounded in a great number of things. So if you don't want to do the work of due diligence, you can invest your way, but then you got to find out how to find the winners. But how can you find the winners if you don't know what the winners' capabilities truly are? So in short, I didn't make my minute take because it would have taken, it takes more than a minute to understand. Most people, I'm going to tell you right now, you need a job. J-O-B, word of the day. You need a job. And you need a job because you need to learn from corporations that run businesses to know what to do and what not to do in whatever industry that you want to get in. The second thing that you need to do, you need patience. You need to understand that mastery is patience. So if business school, to get your doctorate in business school is what is if you go to grad school, 2 years of grad and then maybe 2.5, 4 years of master's. So maybe 2 to 6 years of business school. Go find a company or an industry in the company that you can study for 6 years and make money along the way. That's what I did. When I didn't get accepted into Johns Hopkins Business School, but they accepted me into Johns Hopkins Operational Leadership Program, and then I dropped out after getting a 3.5 my first semester because I wasn't trash. Just want to let you know that. I put myself in my own business school, which was grueling. And it took me nearly a decade to finish, a little bit longer, but I'm here, and now we're finna take the investment world by storm. But to make it short, spend more time in mastering the education that's required for you to be a great business manager and study what good acquisitions are. So many people are trying to get out their situation so fast that you put yourself in a worse situation than you were previously in. That's my final take.
Good stuff, brother.
That was really good. Iggy,
Mm-hmm.
your question is, I want to get my brand in front of the most people possible. I don't know much about ads, but I do have an extra $1,500 a month to put towards it. What would you suggest I do? Keep going organic or try my hand at doing ads?
So with that, is just getting your brand in front of people, or do you have a product or service that you're trying to sell as well?
Just getting the brand in front of people.
Perfect. So $1,500 a month to go towards advertising. What I would suggest is taking $500. If you got $1,500 a month and you're looking to grow your brand, what I would suggest is taking $500 and going directly towards influencer marketing. Influencer marketing is where you find pages on social media that fit your niche, fit your demographic, and you can pay money to get your content that is about your brand, your product, your service to be posted on their page and put in front of those followers, put in front of their audience. And the goal of that is to get them to come back to your page and or go to your website. With the other $1,000 a month, $500 going towards that every single month, using the same influencers, different influencers, whatever you see working based off your numbers, and then taking that $1,000, putting it towards pay advertising so that you can retarget the people who come to your page, because every time somebody comes to your page, you can actually track that in your advertising account and do what we call retargeting. So we can put the advertisement right back in front of people who have taken certain action. So if people are coming to my page, I'm driving traffic from the influencers post, and then I'm retargeting them with my paid advertising. $500 goes to the influencers, $1,000 a month goes to retargeting all the traffic for those influencers. I will do that on a consistent basis. And if you have a product or service, you can do the exact same thing with that product or service by simply dropping in that process and driving people with the ads to that product or service to be able to purchase or book. That's what I would do. $1,500 a month, paid advertising, get more people in front of your brand.
That was good.
All right, so we are going to go into our closing. Do you guys have any last announcements before we close out today's show?
Iggy?
Stop the cap. Stop slanging these courses. And stop attaching yourself to people who ain't no good for the culture. What you got, doctor?
Last thing I want to say is be somebody where you care more about your name being solid and good than the money in your bank account with nobody around you that can trust you. And it's hard to navigate in this world with so many people that give so much slander, so many people that do whatever, but you got to do whatever you can do to keep your name solid. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much results you produce. If people can't trust you, they can't invest in you, they can't believe in you, and they can't publicly support you. So as my grandfather said, you can do a lot of things in life, son. You can even lose a lot of money, but you can never lose people that believe in you. If you lose them, you'll lose everything. So men, women, remember that. Be a person of valor. Be a person of integrity. You will fall short. Every business deal that you invest in won't always make it. Y'all, these billionaires literally lose 400, dang near billions of dollars in a swing, in a day, in a month, in a year. But they never lose themselves. Why? They're completely transparent with their people. They let them know what's going on. And let me tell y'all something about people, especially our people. We actually are forgiving people. We just don't forgive bullshit. So don't be a person that flies want to hang around.
All right, y'all be sure to subscribe, like, share this with somebody who needs it, and we'll see y'all on the inside of PBSDollarClub.com. Peace.
They got it, but let's buy some land and build a family. That's a grown-up flex. And see a black man winning and get so upset. This is generational, inspirational, integrative though. On the rise vertically, working like I ain't made it though. This is for my people. Locker room speeches. Listen while I'm teaching. Nails trying like a Kias. Stole it like I'm Jesus and brought it back like a re-up. Had to demonstrate the blessing for people who couldn't see it. Now we building assets before we splurge our cash. We was talking about the dream, dog. We heard y'all laugh. Now they talking about the team and I heard y'all last. I can never take the credit, I prefer all cash.